Hello everybody, I'm Mr. Scott. I'm going to be presenting today on cyberbullying. What are the signs, policies, and effects here at Washington Rural? First, we're going to be covering what is cyberbullying, the effects and what to look out for in cyberbullying, forms of it, stats, facts, and trends, legislation and case law, our board and school policies on cyberbullying, and then what you guys could do to stand up to it. What is cyberbullying, first off? Cyberbullying is the repeated use of technology to harass, humiliate, or threaten. Bullying that can take place using electronic technology. Electronic technology is like cell phones, computers, and tablets, and then also communication tools, which is the social media sites, text messaging, chatting, and websites. Cyberbullying is also the act of threatening or intimidating online. The effects and lookouts of cyberbullying could be mental, could be visual, could be within school. So these are all effects: depression, skipping school, bad grades, bad health, becoming a bully, and giving up. Unfortunately, this is something that we have to discuss, that yes, because of cyberbullying or any type of bullying, there have been students and adults that have committed suicide. Another thing to look for is maybe starting to do hate, anger, insecurity, envy, peer pressure, just instability, hopelessness. They really start to stand off to the side and do a lot of things on their own. Forms of cyberbullying is exclusion. This is being left out of things. This is not having people around you, not maybe having the up-to-date technology that everybody else has, just really being not part of the group. Harassment is sustained and intentional things online, abusive or threatening sent on an individual group or an individual. This is just over time, and it just keeps going and going and going. Outing is publicly humiliating through online posting, reading messages out loud, which seems like a very simple thing, but it is something that can happen and does all the time. Cyberstalking is harassing through online communication. So that online communication again is like social media, texting, things like that. Or this is also where we see a lot of adults maybe using this way to communicate with younger people for abuse purposes. Fraping. Someone that logs into someone else's account and impersonates them, posting inappropriate content. Fake profiles, which is we see quite a bit, is hide their real identity with intentions. Also uses maybe the other person's email or phone to impersonate them, which is kind of like something else that's coming up. Dissing is sending or posting cruel information to damage someone's reputation or friendship that they may have. Posting inappropriate pictures, screenshots, and videos online, so on those communication tools, or sending them out to a group of people to get a response. Trickery is about someone gaining somebody's trust. This is you getting to know somebody and fooling them into thinking you are friends, and then you take what the knowledge you've been given from them and the secrets that they might have said to you, and then you share it online publicly. Is trickery, just to use it for your benefit. Trolling would be the deliberately provoke a response through the use of insults online, will also personally attack in hopes for you to be angry. So they're looking to try to get you in trouble. They're looking to try to catch you on something and make it to their benefit. Catfishing is something we've seen lately as well, is stealing someone's online identity and recreating that person's social media networking. And then in turn they're presenting themselves as a different person. So creating a profile and a new persona to trick other people to maybe either bring them in or catch them in something. Next is stats, facts, and trends. Cyberbullying doesn't differ much from the type of bullying that many children have unfortunately grown accustomed to in school. The only difference is that it takes place online. Something that happens every day in our schools, in person, and even through all their phones, iPads, computers, and our school computers. Some of the most interesting facts from the first site guide was the most common type of online bullying is mean comments, 22%. 35 had shared screenshots of somebody else. to be able to laugh at them. 61% of teens reported bullying. It was because of their appearance. Of U.S. adults who use internet have also personally experienced online harassment. So that's 40% of us even maybe here in this training. 77% of online harassment victims reported that they had been harassed on Facebook. 7 in 10 young people experienced cyberbullying before they hit the age of 18. Schools that did not allow their students to use cell phones had reportedly higher rates or daily/weekly cyberbullying than did schools that allowed to use cell phones. It was a very interesting stat because yes, we don't let them use them in school, but if we would to take some of the phones away from everybody, that it's kind of weird that that rate would go higher if we asked them never to have them out in school. The percentage of schools with principals reporting occasional cyberbullying increased from 45% in 2010 to 54% in 2016. So it makes me wonder how here in 2022 if that has been on the rise even more or not. This kind of goes along with that first stat slide. 61% of teens were bullied say it was because of their parents, but we went a little deeper, and that 17% was racism, 15% was sexual discrimination, or other mocking tools, 15% was because of financials, and 11% was religion. Going along with the internet, 41% of the adults that have said they're harassed. The others were 27 reported online harassment, physical threats were 18, sexual harassment was 12, stalking was 13, and sustained harassment was 12%. So not all of our kids are struggling with bullying, cyberbullying, but some of us may be as well, and it's not something to be okay with. Make sure we're standing up and being respectful, and making sure we're not allowing this to happen here at school and in our workplace. Some legislation and case law that has happened within this for school grounds. Federal law can be implicated in certain cyberbullying incidents, especially when student speech is being restricted or if one's civil rights are being violated. Going along with this, legislation in 2015 enacted a bullying prevention law that requires schools to have policies over bullying, a huge variation in what exactly is mandated. So not everybody in each state has a clear vision what is being mandated within this prevention law. There's still a lot of things that happen within it. With that being said, the court cases over cyberbullying, the court cases have been supporting the First Amendment rights for free expression of students, but some of those expressions are not being protected and are allowing intervention and discipline to be included. Those are the ones over in the green box. Substantially or material disrupts of learning, interfere with the educational process or school discipline, utilize school-owned technology to harass, threaten other students, or infringe on other civil rights. Also, a takeaway for teachers. Once you learn of a bullying situation taking place, it is your duty to do everything in your power to ensure that it stops. Disciplining is not always the answer. It is not always the only answer. It may have to happen, but you must be sure that the bullying actually stops. Everything has to be safe. Everybody has to be going around and everything's done. Responses to bullying need to be very targeted, comprehensive, and discriminately effective. School policy should have some of these 6 elements within, and that should be worked on within as a team. Specific definition of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. What are going to be the remedy and the consequences for if something happens? What's going to be the process of reporting? How are we going to invest it? Being very specific in the language. That way, if it's on or off, and if it's actually something infringing on the rights of other students, the student can be disciplined. We also need a procedure for preventing cyberbullying, which is something we do have. We have some technology that is able to follow kids, their online tracing, things like that, and then if we just get reports, we already have the ability to go back and look. Our Board of Education and school policies. The bullying by staff. This is the Board of Education prohibits bullying in any form, including electronic means, either by any student, staff member, or parent towards a student, or by a student, staff member, or parent towards a staff member on or while using school property, in a school vehicle or at school, sponsored activity or event. For the purpose of the policy, the term bullying shall have a meaning ascribed to it in Kansas law. This is what for staff. The students is really the same, except really for wherever it says staff, it is student. And then continuing that, the students may possess or use personal electronic signaling devices on school grounds, provided such devices do not disrupt the public education or school activity, and are not used for illegal or unethical activities such as cheating on assignments or tests, bullying, or accessing pornography materials. This may include, but not limit to, the following: verbal, physical, written, or electronic immediate abuse, name calling, insults, practical jokes, in result of embarrassment, unwelcome remarks, innuendos, taunting, derogatory or offensive pictures, drawings, and materials, use of diverse slang terms concerning any other individual. And this comes from our Board of Education handbook. Standing up to cyberbullying. So what can we do? First off, don't be a bystander. Stand up to cyberbullying when you see it. Report it to school personnel, report it to us, report it to the SRO. Do that. You can begin to collect evidence, but once we report to a subordinate, we will continue there, and you will be a part of the evidence collection. Demonstrate care for the student that tells you, talk to them, make sure they're okay. Work together, everybody as a team, we're going to work together. Then tell the person that is supposedly bullying to stop. Now, this is also going to be a part of the system of what does our procedure say to do and when to do that. Don't encourage it. Don't keep the bullying going. We need to stay safe in this instance, make sure everybody is safe, and then don't give up. Make sure that we're following through and we're finishing what we started. I want to thank you guys for being here today. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact me or your supervising principal. And here are my references. Thank you.